Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjan-shalakaya Chakshurum-litam yena tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. Gurve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Sadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnebhyo namo namah. Anarpitam charim chirat karunyavatina kalau samarpaitum unnatajarasam swabhakti shriyam. Haripura sundarduti kadamba sandipita sada hriday kandreshu Spurutavai Sachinandana Gaur Sarchadramit Nidhi Gauram Sarvam Stuve Gaurena Prathitam Resya Bhajanam Gauram Sarvam Dade Gaurasti Kripalo Ratrina Paro Gaurasya Bhritya Sabhavam Gaur Gauramacharami Bhagwan Gaur Prabhu Rakshamam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopikant Radha Kant Namastate Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Welcome all devotees. Today, as we all know, very auspicious day. What is the speciality of this day? Appearance of Shri Gadadhara Pundit. Jai Jai Gaur Gadadhar. There is a bhajan in the songbook. Ha ha mora Gaura Kishora. Ha ha mora Gaura Kishora. In this bhajan, the glories of Shri Gadadhara Pandit is mentioned. So we don't have much time to sing this, and I'm going to definitely sing this in the evening class, the local here Miami program, and you can also follow with us. Appearance day of Shri Gadadhara Pandit. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jive Daya Kari Saparsha Swadham Saha Avatari Atyant Durlabha Prem Kori Varedan Shikhao Sharnagati Bhakatera Pran. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he descended in this iron age, this Kali Yuga, along with this very merciful Dham, Shri Navdeep Dham, and also his parikars, his associates. Now all associates of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are not same. As we discussed in our last class also, Shri Nityam Prabhu, the relationship of Mahaprabhu with Shri Nityanand Prabhu is not same as the relationship with Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu. The relationship of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as with Nityan Prabhu and Advaita Acharya Prabhu is not same as with Shri Gadadhara Pandit. And similarly Shivas Pandit. And then with the Goswamis. There is tartamya, there is some differentiation, there is some speciality in those relationships. So in Navdeep Dham, or many followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they worship Mahaprabhu and Shri Vishnu Priya Devi. And many worship Shri Gaur Gadadhar. Because there is not much time to elaborate on this, so I am not going into the detail, the birth of Shri Gadadhar Pandit, and I will also do as according to the time permits. But what is the Tattva, Gaur Tattva, Gadadhar Tattva? As we have heard from our Srila Gurudev and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Srila Bharti Goswami Maharaj, the Gaur Tattva. And what is Gaur Gadadhar Tattva? So, Shri Gadadhar Pandit, I was telling people, Vaishnavas, they worship Mahaprabhu with Vishnu Priya Devi. But there is a difference of Mahaprabhu being worshipped with Vishnu Priya Devi and Mahaprabhu worshipped with Shri Gadadhar Pandit. It's not same. There's a difference. Mahaprabhu worshipped with Shri Vishnu Priya Devi is more like a archa, in the form of archa. But Mahaprabhu worshipped with Shri Gadadhar Pandit is bhajan. Is bhajan. And many times we discuss the difference between archan and bhajan. Shri Gadadhar Pandit, who is he? Is Radha Rani. Just like Krishna appeared with his associates, and the dearmost associate in which all other pastimes of Krishna is centered is Radha Rani. Similarly, Mahaprabhu pastimes, intimate pastimes with Shri Gadadhar Pandit. In Chaitanya Chaitamrit, Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is writing, in glorification of Shri Radharani, Devi Krishnamai Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmimai Sarva Kanti Samhoni Paraha. Radharani is Devi, Sarva Lakshmimai, Sarva Kanti Samhoni Paraha. What is Sarva Kanti? Kanti means splendor. But Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Chaitamrit is giving a very elaborate explanation of this word Kanti. Kanti shabde Krishna sakal vancha rahe और कृष्ण सकल वांछा राधिता रहे राधिका करेन कृष्ण सकल वांछा पूरन कांति शब्दे यही सब विवरण. Generally, Kanti means the splendor. But here in this verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Shri Kaviraj Goswami explaining Kanti means all the desires of Krishna. All desires of Krishna. And who's fulfilling all the desires of Krishna? Srimati Radhika Eka. Fulfilling all desires is only Srimati Radhika Rani. Srimati Radha Rani. She is fulfilling. That's why Sarva Kanti Samohani Para. Another adjective to her glories is Sarva Kanti Samohani Para. She is the one who fulfills all desires of Krishna. When we say all desires of Krishna means, what is her role in Krishna Leela? just to please Krishna, just to give pleasure to Krishna, she takes Vamya Bhav, leftist mood. Leftist mood. And why? And what is the leftist mood? Showing man, sulky mood. Sometime with cause, sometime without cause. Ahir eva prema gati swabhav kutila bhave. Hetu ahetu yunam man uchyate. Sometime with cause, sometime without cause. But the purpose of exhibiting that sulky mood, that man, is to just give pleasure to the senses of Krishna, to please him, the object of her love. So her role is Vamya Bhav. That's why Radharani is always on the left side of Krishna. See? But her mood of serving Krishna goes to that far extent that she changed her mood to Dakshin Bhav, rightist mood. Dakshin Bhav means submissive mood. Radharani is not submissive in Krishna Leela. She is Vamya Bhav. She cuts joke on Krishna. She manifests man, make Krishna to bow down to her. She extends her feet so Krishna can massage her. She wants Krishna to decorate her hairs at Shingarvad. So this is Vamya Bhav. And all these moods, what she is trying to do is to please Krishna. Krishna loves to serve Radharani. But the worship of Mahaprabhu is different from the worship of Krishna, even though Mahaprabhu is... Who is Mahaprabhu? It's Krishna himself. Antar Krishna Bahir Gaura. Or we can say combined form of Radha Krishna together. Is Krishna inside, outside is Gaura. You see. But worship of Krishna can be done in Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vasalyaras and Madhuras. But the worship of Mahaprabhu cannot be with Madhuras or any other ras. Only Dasya. As a servitor of Mahaprabhu. Only Dasyaras. No other ras. So Shri Gadadhara Pundit, who is Radharani in Gaura Leela, and he has totally changed her mood as Dakshin Bhav, submissive mood, righteous mood, to please Mahaprabhu. If Krishna assumes many incarnations, she manifests herself as so many Lakshmis to serve those incarnations. That's why one of the name of Radharani is Sarv Lakshmi Mai. She is the source of all Lakshmis in Vaikuntha. So with Narsingh Bhagwan, Lakshmi Devi. With Vara Bhagwan, Lakshmi Devi. With Vaman Bhagwan, Lakshmi Devi. With Ram, Sita Devi. All these are manifestations of Radharani. Who are the queens in Dwarika? Also manifestation of Radharani. Who are the gopis in Braj? They are Kai Vyuha, manifestation of Radharani. So as many form Krishna assume or incarnation, she is always there to serve Krishna. The embodiment of service, the embodiment of love is Radharani. Similarly, if Krishna comes as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and how Mahaprabhu comes? Not, even though he's Krishna, but he's not playing a role like Krishna, not the enjoyer. Krishna is more in a submissive mood, like a devotee mood, more like a submissive mood. That's why Mahaprabhu cannot be worshipped with any other rasa, only Dasya ras. Shri Sarup Damodar Goswami has written in his Kadcha, which is known as notebook, that Nitya Nityananda Chaitanya Govind Pandit Gadadhar Radhe Chaitanya Yugal Roop Keval Raser Hoop Avatar Sada Shiva Sade Antre Navaghan Bahire Gaur Tanu Yugal Roop Prakashe Kahe Vasudev Ghosh Yugal Bhajan Rase Janme Janme Rahu Ashe. Vasudev Ghosh, very expert Kirtanya. Such wonderful verse he wrote, giving showing the glories of Shri Gadadhar Pandit, giving the identity of Shri Gadadhar Pandit. Nitya Nityanand Chaitanya Govind Pandit Gadadhar Radhe. He's saying Krishna and Radha are both there. Antare Navghane Bahire Gauratanu. Gauranga is inside Krishna with a bluish complexion, and on the outside Gauranga's complexion is like molten gold. And who is Gadadhar? Gadadhar Radhe. Gadadhar is Radha Vrishabhanu Nandani. Then Chaitanya Yugal Roop Keval Raser Koop. The two form Radha Krishna Yugal Roop Prakashe. Chaitanya Yugal Roop Keval Raser Koop Avatar Sada Shiva Sadhe Antare Navaghan Bahire Gaur Tanu Yugal Roop Prakashe Kahe Vasudev Ghosh Yugal Bhajan Rase Janme Janme Rahu Ashe. Vasudev Ghosh is praying that this Yugal Roop, these two forms combined together, Radha and Krishna, let me be engaged in the bhajan of these two life after life. These two form means Radha Krishna, or these two form combined together as Mahaprabhu, or this two roop here means Mahaprabhu and Shri Gadadhar Pandit. Let me engage in the bhajan of these two life after life. Mahaprabhu with Vishnu Priya Devi and Mahaprabhu with Gadadhar Pandit. They're not same. Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur introduced the worship of Shri Gaur Gadadhar. Godrumdeep, when we go to the Samadhi, Swananda Sukada Kunja, Godrumdeep, in the house of Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, we see the worship of Gaur Gadadhar. Who introduced that? Gaur Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate. Who's Mahaprabhu? Potency is Shri Gadadhar Pandit, and the embodiment of that potency is Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who propagated, who preached entire world in the form of his writings, in his bhajans, and introduced the worship of Shri Gaur Gadadhar. Even though it is in Madhurya Ras, but worship of Mahaprabhu and Vishnu Priya Devi, that's in more in Vedi Bhav, in Archan Marg. But worship of Gaur Gadadhar is in Bhajan Marg, very intense bhajan, intimate mood, Shri Gaur Gadadhar. Whereas in the pastime of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Pandit is just playing very a supervisor, inactive role. Srila Gurudev's words, Srila Gurudev used to say, Gadadhar Pandit is not actively teaching, training or instructing Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how you have to perform the role of Radharani. The whole idea of Mahaprabhu coming in this planet is only to show the glories of Radharani. This is the whole idea of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And therefore he begged for the complexion. And therefore he begged for the mood of Radharani. Na pareham nirvadhu sambhijam. I cannot repay your love, debt. I cannot repay your love. So that's the whole idea of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu coming. So, beg, borrow, steal. He applied all means. He begged, he borrowed for 48 years. And he stole the complexion of Radharani. I will return you back after 48 years. Just a loan. Mahaprabhu asked for this. But Shri Gadadhar Pandit, being Radharani, only and only watching and witnessing how Krishna is playing my role. Because as Mahaprabhu, Krishna is only playing, as Mahaprabhu, Krishna is playing the role of Radharani, and Gadadhar Pandit only observing that role, only observing, not interfering or not saying anything. Otherwise, the whole Leela would have been spoiled. The whole Leela would have been spoiled. So Gadadhar Pandit is just observing. And what he observed, what Krishna is playing the role, my role as Radha is perfect. There's nothing wrong. He's playing very good role. This is how I used to cry. Krishna, 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 Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna he. Krishna Keshav, Krishna Keshav. Krishna Keshav Rakshama. He's playing a perfect role. So this is the realization of our Srila Gurudev. He used to share this tattva, Shri Gadadhar tattva. How Gadadhar Pandit is always just observing how Krishna is playing my role. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants to go Vrindavan. And many times when he's in Jagannath Puri also, in his absorption, even though seeing ocean, he's seeing ocean as Jamuna. He used to see Chatak Parvat as Giraj Govardhan. So, considering ocean as Jamuna, Mahaprabhu used to jump in ocean. Sadananda Bhav, praying to Jamna Marani. Chidananda Bhav, Chidananda Sadananda Sono Par Prema Patri Drava Brahma Gatri. Mahaprabhu is praying stutis to Jamna Marani and jumping into ocean. And is meditating and absorbed in that. Krishna's playing flute. In that Nikunja Leelas. Mahaprabhu just entered in that. But when devotees, they start chant the name of Krishna, Mahaprabhu comes back from his Vrindavan absorption and is wondering, how, where I am? Why this ocean is here? Am I not in Vrindavan? These kind of moods. So, Mahaprabhu actually want to go to Vrindavan Dham. Shri Gadadhar Pandit, who was also, so I'm not speaking in sequence, but just what we used to hear from Srila Gurudev and Srila Bharati Goswami Maharaj. Just, trying to connect both lectures together. Both of their lectures together. Shri Gadadhar Pandit, who was assisting Mahaprabhu in Navdeep Leela, how he is assisting? He used to play with Mahaprabhu. Even though Gadadhar Pandit birth took place in Bangladesh, which was the territory of India in those days. But later on, Gadadhar Prabhu parents moved to Mayapur Dham, very near to the house of Sachi Mata, And Mahaprabhu used to be very close friend with Gadadhar Pandit. So from very childhood, Gadadhar Pandit he knew the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even when Mahaprabhu was performing naughty activities, very notorious activities, Gadadhar Pandit was silent seeing this. When Mahaprabhu started teasing Brahmins, defeating them in the arguments, he also used to raise questions to Gadadhar Pandit. Tell me the explanation of this verse. Friendly terms. And Gadadhar Pandit used to give explanation of that verse, but Mahaprabhu said this is wrong. He said, oh, then you know the answer of this? Mahaprabhu said, yes. And Mahaprabhu used to give answer of his own question. And Gadadhar Pandit said, wow, that's a wonderful answer. But Mahaprabhu said, this is wrong. What I said is wrong. And then re-established some other point. And Gadadhar Pandit, great, that's wonderful. Mahaprabhu said, even this is wrong. He's establishing and then he's refuting his own answers. And in this way, Gadadhar Pandit used to smile and have very good terms friendship with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But when Mahaprabhu came from Gaya, after got initiation from his Gurudev, Sri Ishwar Puripad, when his father left this planet, Sri Jagannath Mishra, Mahaprabhu went to Gayaji and performed Shraddha, oblation ceremony for his father. And he got initiation by Sri Ishwar Puripad. When Mahaprabhu came back to Mayapur, he's not same Nimai as he was earlier. Before he was very naughty. And this time Mahaprabhu crying and weeping all the time. Became so introvert. All the time crying and chanting Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And all devotees in Mayapur, Navdeep Dham, they're wondering what happened to Nimai. Oh, you know what? It's a good news. And what is that? The good news is Nimai has become Vaishnava now. Before he used to tease Brahmins. Brahmins taking bath in Ganga. Nimai used to go under Ganga and pull their legs. Throwing water in the ears of small children. Troubling everyone. But now the good news is Nimai has become Vaishnava. He's crying and weeping day and night for Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And once upon Sachi Mata, seeing this, she was broken. My elder son Vishwarup already renounced. He became a sannyasi. Now Nimai also started acting like this. He's crying and weeping all the time, chanting, calling Krishna, Krishna. So once upon a time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai asked Gadadhar Pandit, Gadadhar, where is Krishna? While he was crying and weeping, he was rolling on the ground, saying, Gadadhar, where is Krishna? And Gadadhar Pandit said, Krishna is in your heart. Mahaprabhu tried to pierce his chest to see where Krishna is. And Gadadhar Pandit stopped him. No, that's not the way to see Krishna. And then Mahaprabhu stopped. Sachi Mata was witnessing this. And Sachi Mata said, oh Gadadhar, you always stay with my Nimai. I request you, you always stay with my Nimai. Because he can only be controlled by you. You are friends from childhood. So Gadadhar Pandit got very good opportunity to stay with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navdeep Leela. And when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he jumped into Ganga in that severe cold. And he swam and came to Katwa. And he got sannyas there. After sannyas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri, and Gadadhar Pandit, feeling separation from Nimai, from Mahaprabhu. So Gadadhar Pandit, now considering that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means Nimai will never leave Jagannath Puri, he is always going to stay there. So I must also go to Nilachal, Jagannath Puri, and take Kshetra Sannyas. Kshetra Sannyas means I will not ever leave this territory. Kshetra Sannyas. So Gadadhar Pandit took this vow of Kshetra Sannyas. Gadadhar Pandit was Mahaprabhu's close friend from very young age. And his father name was Madhav Mishra and mother name was Ratnavati Devi. Madhav Mishra and Ratnavati Devi. Ratnavati Devi respected Sachi Mata as her elder sister and was always associating with her. While manifesting their boyhood Leela, Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit always played together. Sometimes they played in Sachi Mata's courtyard, and sometimes they would play in the courtyard of Ratnavati Devi. They were so close, they don't want to leave each other. And that's the reason Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to Nilachal Puri, Sri Gadadhar Pandit also came there. And now Mahaprabhu want to go to Vrindavan. Gadadhar Pandit was totally broken. I will not allow you to go Vrindavan without me. I also want to go with you. With a very submissive mood. This is called Dakshin Bhav. Dakshin Bhav. When Krishna left Gokul, Mathura, and Dwarika, Radharani was feeling separation from Krishna. But Krishna promised him, I'm just going for 2 days. I'll be back day after tomorrow. He gave a promise. And just for the promise of Krishna, believing the words of Krishna, Radharani, she holded her life because she said to her gopis, her sakhis, I know Krishna never lies. If he gave this promise, certainly he will come back one day. And that's why I'm still holding my life heirs. I'm still holding my life. Otherwise, I would have died in separation from Krishna. Shri Gadadhar Pandit also want to travel with Mahaprabhu to Vrindavan. But Mahaprabhu forbade him. No, you can't go. On what point? You can't go because you have taken Kshetra Sannyas. Kshetra Sannyas means cannot leave Jagannath Puri. If you leave that, everyone will blame you, everyone will criticize you, and everyone will criticize Kshetra Sannyas. You have to set up the conduct. Mahaprabhu is more concerned about Gadadhar Pandit's fame. Whereas Gadadhar Pandit said to Mahaprabhu, I only wanted to be with you. And if I get defamed in the society or criticized in the society just because of Kshetra Sannyas, I will renounce my Kshetra Sannyas. But I can't renounce your association. I can renounce Kshetra Sannyas. Mahaprabhu said, no, what you saying, Gadadhar, is not correct. It's not appropriate. What society will think about you? So Mahaprabhu is showing concern. And Gadadhar Pandit really wanted to go with Mahaprabhu. But because of submissive mood, that Dakshin Bhav, Shri Gadadhar Pandit stayed back. Otherwise, he would have been in a sulky mood, like Radharani, always in sulky mood. But Gadadhar Pandit cannot manifest sulky mood, because those who are in Bhamya Bhav, leftist mood, can only manifest sulky mood. Those who are in Dakshin Bhav, rightist mood, cannot manifest sulky mood. They can't. And Gadadhar Pandit here, same Radharani, but different role. It's a different role here. It's Dakshin Bhav, submissive mood. So he stayed back weeping and crying. But before going, Mahaprabhu, he found a deity of Gopinath, which was buried under sand. Tota Gopinath. Tota means garden, and Gopinath means the deity, beautiful, big, huge deity of Gopinath. Mahaprabhu got from taking the sand out. I said, Gadadhar, would you like to serve the Lord of my life? Gopinath is my pranadhan, the Lord of my life. And Gadadhar Pandit said, of course. If Gopinath is your Lord of your life, then Gopinath is also Lord of my life. And you are the Lord of my life. Saying, handing over the Gopinath deity to Gadadhar Pandit, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Vrindavan now. Srila Gurudev used to comment on this. Why Mahaprabhu didn't brought Gadadhar Pandit being so close and intimate with him? Why? Because if Gadadhar Pandit would have been in Vrindavan with Mahaprabhu, who is right now playing the role of Krishna adopting the mood of Radharani, and seeing Gadadhar Pandit as Radharani, Krishna would have come in his original mood of being Krishna enjoyer, and he would have embraced Gadadhar Pandit, saying, oh, you are Radha and I am Krishna. And what's going to happen with the God Leela? So much to accomplish, so much to be done, so much reciprocation to be done, so much past tense to be elaborated. What's going to happen with that God Leela? So, imagine, the entire God Leela is dependent on the mood of Radharani being Gadadhar Pandit. Entire God Leela. If Gadadhar Pandit would have switched over his mood to leftist mood, no Krishna, I cannot play the role of submissive mood. I cannot do that much sacrifice. I can't renounce that much. Bas, the whole entire God Leela would have ended up there. Krishna would have come back to his enjoyer mood of being Krishna, and you are Radha and embracing. No. Shri Gadadhar Pandit, just to serve the mood of Krishna being Mahaprabhu, he kept quiet. Understand? See the height of serving Krishna. We think serving means just to massage or cook, washing clothes. If this is only service, how the parikars, they're serving. How Shri Radharani, she's serving with all the moods. When is the time to assume leftist mood? When the time is to assume rightist mood. Sacrificing that only for the sake of pleasing Krishna. Just to please Krishna, that's all. And that's why Krishna folded hand and say, I cannot repay you, I cannot repay your debt. That's the reason. See, this is Gadadhar Tattva. That's why he didn't went. He didn't travel with Mahaprabhu. He stayed back and serving Shri Tota Gopinath. The question comes here, A question arises here. If Gadadhar Pandit is so intimate with Mahaprabhu, if Gadadhar Pandit is so much intimate with Mahaprabhu, why Gadadhar Pandit is not counted amongst the 3.5 intimate associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Good question. There are 3.5 intimate associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who are these 3.5? Ramanand Rai, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Shiki Maiti, and Madhvi Devi. 3.5. But there is no counting of Gadadhar Pandit in that. Why? Because Gadadhar Pandit is not amongst the intimate associates. Gadadhar Pandit is beyond intimate associates. Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani. And who is Radharani? Anand Chinmaya Ras Pratibhavitavis. The direct manifestation from Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna and Radharani. There is no difference between Mahaprabhu and Shri Gadadhar Pandit. Whereas, as I said in the beginning, the relationship of Mahaprabhu with Shri Nityam Prabhu and Advaita Acharya, these are Prabhus. And Mahaprabhu is Mahaprabhu. Ek Mahaprabhu aay Prabhu dui jan. Dui Prabhu mile kare Mahaprabhu sevan. One Mahaprabhu and two Prabhus. And these two Prabhus are serving Mahaprabhu. And Gadadhar Pandit, Shri Advait Gadadhar Shiva Sadi. Shri Gadadhar Pandit and Shivas, they are Shakti Tattvas. And there is another category, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, those who are the Goswamis. Their category is totally different from the Panch Tattvas. Their speciality and their superiority amongst all other associates of Mahaprabhu. Yes. Big speciality of the Goswamis on one side and all our Acharyas, Nottam Thakur, Kaviraj Goswami, following the Goswamis on one side and other associate on the side. Is a difference. It's not same. We say Rup Goswami is associate of Mahaprabhu, right? And others are also associates of Mahaprabhu, but amongst associates there is also Tartamme, speciality and differentiations. They are not termed as one. Shiva's Pandit is also Shakti. But Shiva's Pandit cannot be same as Gadadhar Pandit. Swarup Damodar Goswami, Ramanand Rai and 3.5 associates, they are intimate. But Gadadhar Pandit is even beyond that. He is direct Radharani, beyond that. That's Gadadhar Tattva. Shri Gadadhar Pandit serving Shri Tota Gopinath and Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu was almost 40 years or 42 years when he went to Vrindavan. And similarly, Gadadhar Pandit is also almost same age, 1 or 2 years less. But while serving Shri Tota Gopinath, decorating Shri Gopinath, putting outfits on Gopinath, but with a mood of separation from Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord of his life is in Vrindavan. Not only the Lord of his life is in Vrindavan, but Vrindavan Dham, Anyar man man, more man Vrindavan, mane vane ek kori mani. Vrindavan is the heart of Radharani. The heart is there And the Lord of the heart is also there. And what left in Nilachal and Jagannath Puri? Just the body. Imagine. I mean, we can't even imagine. But Gadadhar Pandit went through so much separation from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Vrindavan is the heart. And Mahaprabhu is the Lord of his heart. Okay, if Vrindavan is there, but the Lord of the heart is with Gadadhar Pandit, he could have easily resolved this. But when both are there, far, 2000 kilometers far, 1500 miles, and Gadadhar Pandit is in Nilachal in Jagannath Puri, on the bank of ocean. Mahabodhe sthire kanakaruchire nila shikhare. In the bank, in the ocean there. What he was going through was separation day and night, weeping and crying and weeping and crying. So therefore, he was not old, he was equally the same age as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he started appearing old. He became bent. Because not proper eating, not proper sleeping, and just separation and weeping. Srila Gurudev used to wonderfully explain this pastime in Jagannath Puri. When Srila Gurudev was leading that Kshetra Mandal Parikrama, means Jagannath Puri Parikrama, he used to tell us this Tattva, Gadadhar Tattva. That he was not old in age, but he became old in the separation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that's why he became bent, and it was so difficult for him to put garland to Sri Gopinathji. Seeing this, Tota Gopinath, who was in a standing posture, he sat down. The only one deity in the whole world with Krishna sitting and playing on flute. To receive the loving services from Sri Gadadhar Pandit, Sri Gopinath sat. The only one deity in the entire world. Whereas Krishna was standing. But because of Gadadhar Pandit, he sat down. Not only that, Srila Gurudev used to also say, Mahaprabhu very fond of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So Mahaprabhu used to come every day to see Sri Gadadhar Pandit at Chatak Parvat to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. Mahaprabhu in Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, there is a verse which says, Shranvanti Gayanti Grinanti Sadhava Tadvag Sargo Janto Viplo Yasmi Pratishlokam Bad Atamayapi Yasho Ankintani Yashanvanti Gayanti Grinanti Sadhava. A speaker, when he finds some audience, he feels like speaking Krishna Katha. When an audience, they find a good speaker, they always want to hear and more hear and hearing about Krishna Katha. That's the nature of sadhu. So, a bona fide speaker, a pure speaker, is not the one who always wants to speak, but he also wants to hear. He's very fond of hearing also. Although he's very fond of speaking, he just wants some audience and he wants to, or she wants to just speak the glories of Krishna. But they also, all Vaishnavas, they also want, very fond of hearing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Krishna in Vrindavan, Krishna is the one who is always fond of speaking. He spoke Bhagavad Gita, right? the best lecture he ever gave. In 48 minutes, Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses. I mean, he didn't spoke 700, just around 600. But a good lecture, around 48 minutes. The entire Bhagavad Gita, 48 minutes lecture. And that lecture is even get repeated. Even now, after 5,000 years, everywhere in the entire world. So very fond of speaking. And in Vrindavan also, he is giving such good Upadesh, instructions to gopis. When Krishna played on flute, and gopis came running, gave up their ornaments, their shingar, their decoration, one earring, forgot to put other earring, like that. And Krishna started. When they came to Krishna, Swagata Mahabhaga, Priyam Kim Karavani Va. Oh, welcome, welcome gopis. But by the way, BTW, by the way, why you came here? And gopis were wondering, what? You invited us and you asking why you came here? And he started giving Upadesh, instructions. A wife is supposed to serve husband, no matter how husband is. Dushilo, Durbhago, Vriddho, Jarrago, Adhanapiva. Even it is bad character, or is poor, or afflicted with disease, giving so many instructions. You know? When Krishna was in Kurukshetra and met gopis, after a long span of separation, again instructions. Mai bhaktir hi bhutanam amritya kalpate. Oh gopis, why you have to cry so much? I am present in the heart of everyone. So always very fond of speaking. But when gopis start singing Gopi Geet, which is a lecture of gopis now. If Krishna can give lectures, then gopis also know better than Krishna to give lecture. When Ras Leela, as I just said, Krishna gave lecture, then gopis also counter lecture to Krishna. And Krishna was scratching. At Kurukshetra also Krishna gave lecture, then gopis counter lecture to Krishna, and he was quiet. He has no answer. And Gopi Geet is what? The song sung by the gopis. This Bhagavad Gita with the song sung by Krishna. And there is Gopi Geet, the song sung by gopis. And what is that song? It's again a lecture describing the qualities of Krishna, a kind of sarcasm. But everything is glorification of Krishna. Vishajala payad vyala rakshasa. I'm not going to sing. Oh Krishna, you saved us from poisonous snake. You saved us from so many demons, etc. See? So when gopis, they sung this Gopi Geet, Krishna appeared there, Sakshan Manmat, beautiful like a cupid, attracting everyone, but feeling embarrassed. I was just playing with the gopis, they took it so seriously. They start crying and weeping. I was just playing with them, joking. There was just a joke. And they took it so seriously, start weeping and singing this in separation. So when you get caught, if you steal something, you get caught, and how your appearance is, it's just like embarrassing, little mild smile. Yes, I did this mistake. Krishna appeared there. Sakshan Manman, very beautiful form, but mild smile on his face, a little embarrassed. This kind of appearance. So gopis, they spread what? They spread it their shawls on the bank of Jamuna and gave this asan for Krishna to sit on. Krishna is not fond of sitting on the throne, the jewel throne, diamond jewel throne. He is very much happy to sit on the shawls of the gopis, which were not even clean. The sand, the mud from Jamuna. and the tears and the kajal from the eyes of the gopis. All this. When they spread it, Krishna sat on that. And here, what gopis have to say. Exactly same scenario is when Shri Gadadhara Pandit is speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to come and relish that Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is another cause Shri Tota Gopinath also sat and hearing Bhagavatam from Shri Gadadhara Pandit. The same which happened 5,000 years back when Radharani is singing and Krishna came and sat there on the bank of Yamuna. When Shri Gadadhara Pandit describing the glories of Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna who was standing, he sat to hear that. And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to come. Mahaprabhu is Krishna, right? Gadadhara Pandit is Radharani. Who can describe Bhagavatam? Who can describe? Krishna or Radharani? Radharani can describe better. Because the entire Bhagavatam is the Swarup, the form of Krishna. But who serves Krishna most? Only Radharani. Who knows Krishna most? Only Radharani. Even Krishna himself don't know about him. But Radharani knows. Radharani knows more about Krishna. So when Shri Gadadhara Pandit describing Brahmana Geet, Srila Gurudev is mentioning that in his lecture. Megayur eva kapindu vibdulubd dharma istrim akrit virupam istajit kamana balim api balim atva deshra dursyan tad alam asisaki dustajjan tat kathartam. Brahmana Geet. Never trust any black person. Gadadhara Pandit is describing Brahmana Geet. They all are cheaters. All black are cheaters. There was one black in Treta Yuga who killed a monkey hiding from a tree, targeting a monkey, Bali. The same black person cut the nose and ears of the sister of Ravan, Surupnaka, made her ugly. They are all cheaters. But then the question raised, but he was Kshatriya, right? And Kshatriya can do such things. Then the gopis replied, oh, what good act he did when he assumed the form of a Brahmin. He came as a dwarf, Vaman. He showed 3 small tiny feet and he asked for 3 feet of land. The moment Bali Maharaj gave promise, yes, I promise, I'm going to give you 3 feet of land. What he did? He measured entire universe. Cheating. So don't trust this black person. They always cheat us. But then Uddhavji said, you telling me don't trust this black person, but the moment I came here, you're only speaking about black person. Why have to speak about him then? If you hate that black person, or if you don't want to speak about and saying cheater, 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 then don't speak about him. The gopi said, this is only our dilemma. Tad alam asisaki dustajjantal kathartam. We cannot give up speaking about him. This is our problem. We cannot give up speaking about him. His topics is only our life. Tav kathamritam tapta jivanam. His topics are only our life. So this is what Srila Gurudev is explaining. This is what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is hearing and relishing. The Bhagavatam from the lotus lips of Radharani, Shri Gadadhara Pandit, because only he can describe Bhagavatam. Who spoke Srimad Bhagavatam? Who spoke Srimad Bhagavatam?
Shukdev Goswami.
Shukdev Goswami. And amongst thousands of rishis, who is prominent to hear Srimad Bhagavatam? King Parikshit. Understand? So Shukdev Goswami is reciter. And Parikshit Maharaj is listener. Shukdev Goswami is Tadatme, oneness with Radharani. Because Shukdev means the parrot of Radharani, who always used to sit on the hands of Radharani. So Shukdev Goswami is Tadatme, means oneness with Radharani. All the moods of Radharani imbibed in Shukdev Goswami. And that's why it's not Shukdev Goswami who's speaking Bhagavatam, it's directly Radharani speaking Bhagavatam. And who's the listener? Parikshit Maharaj. He got oneness with Krishna. Where? Right in the womb of his mother. When there was a Brahmastra coming to kill Parikshit Maharaj and sent by Ashwathama, Krishna entered in the womb of Mother Uttara and he saved that child, the descendants of Pandavas, Parikshit. The child was already finished with that Brahmastra, but Krishna got oneness, Tadatme, with the child, with the most merciful glance. So Parikshit Maharaj is hearing and Shukdev Goswami is speaking. So Radharani speaks Bhagavad Katha and Krishna hears that and he relished this. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to relish all these topics from Shri Gadadhara Pandit. So there are many other glories of Shri Gadadhara Pandit. We're going to hear in our evening class also. And devotees who are on Zoom and Facebook, you can also join us. It's going to be 6:30 p.m. Miami time, which will be late in your country, so you can follow up tomorrow in the morning time. And I'm ending up here, paying obeisances to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all his associates, especially on this very special day, to Shri Gadadhara Pandit, to shower your blessings to all of us under the shade of your lotus feet. Maybe get a speck of dust from your lotus feet and we can get entrance into that worship of yourself along with Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Means the bhajan of Shri Gaur Gadadhara, as described by our Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Shri Gadadhara Pandit ki jai. And also, very soon, Akshaya Tritya is approaching, May 3rd, Akshaya Tritya, very auspicious day to start with any new job, any venture, travel, marriage, initiation, donation is the best day, because anything, whatever we do on that day is Akshaya. Akshaya means? Huh? No.
Successful.
Mm-hmm.
Auspicious.
No. Endless. Indestructible. Endless. So, that's the day. Chant more, read Bhagavatam. If anyone wants to give donation or travel or a new job, business, etc., the results is endless. So be prepared for that. And on that day, I don't know if I get chance, because I'll be in Houston and there is already 2 programs planned on that day. I'll be very busy. So I think I'm going to speak English class the next day, and that means it's going to be May 4th. Oh, you get notification. We still have to work out with that, because tomorrow is a very busy day here. Sunday is busy. Monday I'm traveling. Tuesday is Akshaya Tritya. So we'll plan when will be our next class. So be prepared. And very soon we're going to have English exam for a Hindi audience. Some devotees are working out, making a questionnaire. So I've given them some break for 3-4 days to revive all the lectures. And same is with English audience as well. Revive all the lectures, and we're going to have exam soon. Let's see who will secure how many marks in that and grade in that. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Any personal question, any question, you can personally write to me. Vancha kalturvacha kripa sindhubhya vacha patita nam pavanebhyo vaishnebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Gadadhara Pandit ki jai.